Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the late commentary session for day 3 of WWDC. We've got a really nice panel again today. 4 people again, just like this morning. I'm just going to slowly introduce them one by one, and then we'll get started. So the first one is a familiar face. Hey, Sai, good to have you back. It's always nice when my audio is not working, so I think people can hear you. So you can just keep talking if you want. Um, let's see. I'm just going to put Jess in as well while I work on my audio issues. Hey, can you two hear each other?
No, I can't hear Sai.
Oh no, I thought okay, it's Sai then, because I can hear Jess as well. Sai, can you double check your audio because we cannot hear you yet. Um, so our first commentator of the day is Jess, and Jess,
Hi.
how are you doing?
Great. It's a little bit overwhelming with all these amazing sessions going every
Yeah.
day, and you miss some day one, and then they pile up with day two. And I'm very excited, but also kind of tired.
Where are you calling in from?
Oh, Mexico?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's also bring in our second speaker then, Andy. Hey, Andy.
Hi,
Hello,
Andy.
hello everyone. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. Pretty great
Oh,
sessions these days. Pretty good
yeah.
Monday, pretty good Tuesday, pretty good Wednesday.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Bolivia.
I think this is the first time
Oh,
we have someone from that part of the world. So it's nice to have this diversity. Tomorrow morning we have some people from Japan as well. So we're going back and forth all around the globe. Let's see if we have Sai. If Sai's microphone is working. Hey Sai, can you try it again?
Hi everyone, can you hear me now?
Hi,
Yes, it's
Sai.
working.
All
Hey,
right, hi
hey
everyone.
Sai.
Sai
Hi,
doesn't
it's
need a
great to
lot of
meet everyone.
introduction because he was also on the panel yesterday, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
Um,
yeah.
and then we have our last speaker for tonight, Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty
Hey
good.
Jordan.
Hello.
Where are you calling in from?
Missouri, smack
Missouri.
smack dab in the middle of the United States.
I was just going to ask, like, for the people who don't know all the United States by heart, somewhere in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah, somewhere in the middle. Yeah, by a bunch of
Uh,
cow fields and farms, pretty much.
sounds like a great environment to be in during a developer conference.
It is.
Uh,
It's very
so
nice.
let's kick it off. We had a really nice day in terms of sessions. There were some nice ones about Swift UI. Andy, you were talking about the demystifying Swift UI one you were looking at today. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, so Demystify Swift UI. Actually, I think it's one of the most important tags this year because so it actually tells you what you're doing wrong with Swift UI. Why are your animations breaking? Why are you having unexpected state refreshes? Your views rebuilding. There's a lot of content that talk explains. So it tells you about a view identity. It tells you about the lifetime of views, when they may get refreshed. So it gives you a deep overview of how Swift UI looks at your code. It's like a very deep overview. Like it tells you how it uses generics to identify your views when you don't give them an explicit ID, and so you can use all the knowledge you get from that talk to find those specific pain points in your code where it breaks. Especially for me, in my case, there's a lot of code that I have written where animations break and I have absolutely no idea why. This talk is giving me very good pointers about where I can find those places. So I think it's one of the most important ones for SwiftUI developers. And I think it's one of the talks that everyone should check out if they are working on SwiftUI, if they are having problems with SwiftUI, if they are going to work with SwiftUI.
Yeah, I think it's a good point because I think this is the year where we see Swift UI really becoming mature and really being a good replacement for, I would say, 90% of all apps. And it's partly because of sessions like this where some of the inner workings of Swift UI are slowly becoming more like understandable for the common person. What about you, Jess? So you also were watching a lot of sessions today. Was
Yeah.
anything that popped out?
But especially demystifying Swift UI because I am a beginner. I just started diving into it, and it's amazing because it's a diving with a troubleshooting. It has condensed the experience of, I don't know, 2 years of someone using Swift UI, and you can go and just absorb it. I'm going to save that video as a reference. When I'm stuck at something, it's an easy and understandable explanation on how Swift UI, the title is perfect because it makes us a lot less frightening, and just explain it bit by bit, like, hey, I can totally do that. So I've been absorbing all the concepts in that session.
Nice. What about you, Jordan? Have you been watching a lot of
Yeah,
sessions today as well?
I have, but I'm going in sequential order, so I've caught up mostly on yesterday's session. I actually just watched my first one from today, right before we hopped on the call. It was interesting though. It was about Quick Note, because I was wondering how they're going to package that out and share it across the system. And no surprise if you've kind of done some user activity programming lately, it's driven off that, which if you are on the user activity train, it's going all over the place now. There's handoffs, Siri intents, the quick notes, state restoration. So very important API for the ecosystem. But the good news is it's almost trivial to support. So as long as you know what you're doing with user activity, you're going to be up and running with those quick notes right away. So I think that's really exciting. And that's one of my favorite API enhancements is when you get the new flashy thing, which I think quick notes are really awesome for almost no work. So the user activities you have probably are going to give you the context that you need to restore those quick notes. So very exciting for me. But I've got a lot of viewing backlog ahead of me. But I'm glad the first one I saw was one of those. Oh, so this is pretty much done. That works.
Nice.
So that's great.
Just a few lines of code. So when you said you're going in sequential order, does that mean you're going to watch all 200 of them over the week?
Oh no. So I pick off just the ones that I need to know right now. So I think I've only done the first 2 days, but it's like 30 or 40 videos. But I'm going at 1.5 speed. So that's getting me through them pretty quick.
Nice.
That's an
And what about
amazing
you?
way
Oh, sorry.
to
What?
absorb even more sessions because we only have 24 hours in a day, and some of us try to sleep at least 6 hours.
It's a good idea to sleep. Yes.
Yeah, so
So
the nice
Sai,
thing about
oh,
the
sorry.
nice thing
Go
about
on.
yeah, sorry. The nice thing about user activity is that those APIs are used basically everywhere that gives external data to your app. So once you know how to use user activity, you can use it everywhere. Spotlight search. Siri had this feature. I think she still has it. This feature that says, "Remind me of this." That API also uses user activity, so it's a very good API to know, and they are going to keep giving more uses to it. So it's pretty cool API.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what about you, Sai? So yesterday you were looking at some Shazam Kit stuff. You posted some of the sample projects there as well. Was there anything that stood out today?
Yeah, I've just pretty much been covering almost all of the same sessions. I started with some SF symbol updates. There have been some really cool updates on that front where it's really easy to use SF symbols and even bring in your own brand design into it because they now support more color schemes and the way symbols are rendered. Previously, if you had to, if you wanted to use the circular version of an icon, you have to specify dot circle, but now it just appears as a modifier. Or if you're using it like in a tab bar or as a bar button item, it automatically adjusts to it. And then yeah, the quick note session, I've actually been meaning to look at that, but that's on my to-do list. And I saw some more sessions on what was it called? Oh yeah, it was Create ML. And I think it was actually it might have been in one of yesterday's sessions. I can't remember, but it was talking about how you can now use Create ML in iOS apps. So you can train your own, you can get the data from your application and you can train your own model on device without having to use any servers.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And the example I was working on was like a personalization models. A lot of the apps we use suggestions and they use our data to create a personalized model, but that requires data going to their servers. And with this new feature, we could just do it on device. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. Just switching the cameras a bit. Curious to know what the performance of that will be, because from what I understood from KreML is that sometimes it could take like days to train a model, but obviously these are like more narrow and focused on a specific user. But yeah, that's quite interesting to see.
Mhm.
So besides the sessions, we also obviously have the labs that started off yesterday. Did any of you go to any of the labs already? And if so, what were your experiences there?
Looks like no one.
Yeah, I
I've signed up.
for once I don't have an app I'm working on, like an indie app that I usually take to the sessions. So I haven't yet, but I plan to take some from my day job at Buffer to get some questions. I know my colleague got some answer today around StoreKit, and he was really happy with what he learned. So nothing but good things is so far from what I've heard.
Yeah,
All
so
right, I'm just gonna. Oh,
I
sorry,
actually
go on.
requested a lab appointment for Friday. Hopefully they will approve it. No, actually it's for tomorrow, the Swift UI lab. So hopefully they will approve it, and I will be able to report back. So hopefully they do. It will be my first time in one of those labs. Pretty exciting to.
Oh, I think we lost Andy there. Oh,
Oh,
hey, we
sorry
lost
about
you, Andy.
that.
Go on.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was saying that I have requested an appointment for the Swift UI labs. Hopefully they will be approved and I will be able to talk to the Apple engineers. There's some specific pain points still in Swift UI, like it's getting better, but there's still some little things that are not quite right. There's some edge cases that I need, so hopefully I will be able to get something back from that.
Yeah. Well, I actually did go to a bunch of labs. I went to 5 already in the last 2 days. And they've been really nice, except for the time zone issues. I have one tonight at 1:30 a.m. and I had one last night at 12:30. But I did 2 of the sessions with the App Store marketing teams, where they basically tell you, hey, this is what you need if you want to get your app featured. This is what we're looking for, and basically gives you a chance to like highlight your app and explain to them why you think it's nice. I had one with the machine learning team, which was a bit longer because those are not as popular teams. Some of them really quickly sell out, so to say. And actually, I had one with the app review team because I had an app rejection a month ago, which was unfair, and they approved it in the end. But it was really nice to hear their perspective as well. So yeah, I was quite surprised with that. Did any of you join the Slack for the digital lounges that Apple is doing this year?
I have joined the Slack, but I guess I haven't been too active in it. I like to like get through the videos really quickly, and they host watch parties. So I don't want to like spoil it or be behind. So yeah, but I think the Slack, the digital lounges are actually a really great tool. They have, especially if you're working on the challenges or you just have some questions, they're really helpful, and I've just seen good things over there. So yeah.
Yeah, can you see my screen right now? I
Yeah.
think so, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the things that's going on in Slacks is these challenges every day, where the different teams they come up with like a sample project focused around a specific API, and then they basically give you a challenge. And the challenge today was with Swift UI, and basically the challenge was to recreate old Apple UI. And saw some really
Wow.
nice
It's really
examples of people
cool.
like recreating the iOS 7 control center all in Swift UI. And this background here is the new Swift UI canvas that was just announced. Um, and there was also some people who recreated the music app from the iOS 6 days. This is an iOS 6 shortcut, which I thought was pretty cool with the symbols as well. And I also saw this one where
Yeah, that iPad. I saw that
Shubham,
iPad. Yeah,
he
that's my
just like
favorite.
just recreated the
It's bringing
iPod.
back memories.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
with the scroll view as well. And also something I saw today was old OS. Someone, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find
Yeah,
it.
I saw it on
Some,
Twitter.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it like this. Yeah. So someone
Yeah.
recreated with Swift UI, um, basically the iPhone 4, in a like a working way with all the old buttons and all made with Swift UI. It's
It's like time traveling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty
really crazy.
insane.
Yeah,
And
you can
Yeah,
even
I
search
was
the App Store too. It's really neat.
did he even
yeah, I
integrate
was
with the App
using
Store?
the
Yeah, and it shows the results just like it used to, and then just deep links over to the real App Store. I love
It's
it.
yeah.
nice.
I think
That's
a
good.
huge amount of work must have gone into that to get that to
Mhm.
work. Um,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
s-
I was using the application. I was like totally immersed in iOS 4, and then I had to type something in, and since it was using the system prompts, and I'm on iOS 15, I got the like toolbar prompt that said use the camera to scan the URL, and I was like, oh, what if OCR used to be in iOS 4? And I thought that was pretty funny.
Nice. So yeah, besides Apple's events, we're obviously also organizing a lot of stuff here with the WWC community. So a few of the events that are coming up later today and tomorrow are we've got a women group get together that's starting
Yeah,
at
I'm looking
5:15.
forward to it.
Jess, you're planning to go?
Yeah, I'm actually volunteering on that slot.
Oh, nice.
So
So
yeah,
what can we expect? Like what's the plan there?
well, on these sessions we have a multi-layer experience. On one side, we have the panel. We hear from depths within that group we are seeing. We have had a Brazilian group, an indie dev group. It goes and touches different part of the spectrum. And on the other side, we are doing it on a platform Gather that offers a really nice opportunity to socialize in a virtual world, and you it emulates in real life interactions when you can watch the session, but also talk with the people that's near you. So we don't miss that human part of going to these sorts of events because, well, at the end of the day, developers are human too.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you want to see what other events are up, go to the wwdc.community website, and there's all the events. You can RSVP. Ethan is doing an AR VR panel later as well, and we also still have the treasure like scavenger hunt. So if you go to the Gather environment, you
And
can like
Secret
walk around.
Santa.
Exactly, you can walk around the virtual environment, and there's a secret
Yeah.
Santa walking around handing out app promo codes for apps, and there's some prizes as well. And it's also leading up to the hackathon that's starting on Saturday, where if you team up with 2 or 3 people, you can make something with the new APIs, and there's some nice prizes as well, ranging from either a HomePod or AirPods or an AirTags. So yeah, definitely check that out and yeah, see what's possible with the new stuff. So Jordan, you recently launched a book titled I bought the book, I have it, but I forgot the exact name. What
A
was the
best
name
in
again?
class
Sorry.
Best in
iOS app.
class.
Yes, of course. So where you basically list all the things that best in class iOS apps look for. So from accessibility to everything in the human interface guidelines. With the announcements from this week, do you feel like there's a lot you have to change, or is it still pretty much the same?
No, I've got a massive list already. It's kind of funny because each session I'm like, yeah, maybe this will be a light one where I just need a note here and there, but I end up pausing them and adding a whole bunch. So accessibility is if you're familiar with the book, I did it in early access because it's going to take a bit to write. So I'm just going piece by piece, and I started with accessibility, and already there's some awesome things they added specifically to Swift UI that weren't there in iOS 14. A lot of great things with the rotor control, the accessibility children, I believe is what they call this modifier, where you can have this custom view and just have the accessibility traits modeled after I almost said UI kit, but a Swift UI
Yeah,
view.
like a different view. Yeah.
Exactly right. So, and that makes it as the developer a lot easier to model those types of things. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are added, and it's kind of funny because when you have an app, you're thinking about all these things that you need to add to really make iOS 15 shine and kind of go for one of those featured great with iOS 15 banners in the App Store. But with my first time writing a book, I feel like it's kind of that same thing because some of the things I'm writing right now I know have already changed and will change. But I've decided to kind of see the book through until it's content complete before I circle back to iOS 15. But I think it's great that so much has changed and that there's so many new things to kind of discover. Even established APIs like we mentioned earlier, NS user activity, right? There's lots of uses for that today. There always has been. Now there's just one more, so that'll be something I can go back to and revisit it at the end. But selfishly, I love writing about this stuff because I learn as I write a lot of the times, and there's just a waterfall of information like every WWDC. But that makes it exciting.
Nice. Sorry, go on.
Speaking of which, most of you guys have in real life experience at WWDC. This is my first time going, and it's virtual. How has improved the experience going virtual than that? I mean, it was awesome in real life, but how going virtual has made it even better?
I think you have to start with the sessions for sure. Usually they're modeled after, the constraints of the venue. So most of them are 45 minutes long. And when you're in a room that's dark with a bunch of other people, even if the content is the most exciting content in the world, it's hard not to get really sleepy, especially with jet lag and time zone changes. So I think hopefully when they go back in person next year, they'll take some of the lessons they've learned with the sessions and the more succinct setup, and kind of take those forward. And also the accessibility and the labs open to everyone. I don't think you can go back from that anymore. I think that's got to stay, in addition to the in-person ones. That is, again, assuming they go in person next year.
Yeah, so I have never been to WWDC. Sorry. Do you want to go ahead?
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I have never been to WWDC like physically there before, but I have always watched the sessions and the session quality. It's like they were good before they went full digital, but now it's like the sessions are just as long as they have to be because when you are watching the oldest sessions or when you are there physically, when they say something cool, there's all this cheering and the sessions start getting longer and longer. Like it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool atmosphere, but the sessions get longer and it can become harder to absorb their content. So I think this shorter format for the sessions is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like to add on to our critique on the sessions, I think also what's really nice about having the sessions virtual is that if we have a question when we watch something, we can always rewind and go back. But over there, it would take almost a day or sometimes a couple days for the recording to upload. So if you miss something, it's gone, at least until the recording is posted. So yeah, but yeah, I think I would say the labs I preferred in person maybe just because it's a lot more. I feel like the engineers are a lot more approachable versus now it feels like we're hopping onto another virtual call with another stranger. So I mean obviously they're like very helpful. But I think there's that kind of disjoint between trying to get developers to approach the engineers, which was a lot less valid, which was a lot less valid in person. Yeah.
Yeah. And I gotta give a shout out to iOS 15 real quick. I mean, it's a rite of passage to screenshot, the code slides. And now I'm using the text from the camera and just grabbing the code and copying and pasting it. So my camera roll looks a lot tidier now.
Yeah, definitely. What I did notice regarding your point, Sai, about the labs is that a lot of people now, from what I saw online, they found it difficult to do the labs because they don't really know what to expect. So like they might be a bit anxious of like going in video call with someone from Apple, and there's like a limited amount of slots, of course. So they feel that their questions are not important enough. Whereas in the past, you would just go into the area where the labs are, and then some of the areas it would just be super quiet, like the core data and Swift UI. They would always have like a long line. But if you would go to a more niche API, oftentimes you could just have a conversation for an hour, and they would be more than glad to help you out for that entire hour. So again, if you haven't signed up for a lab yet because of that, just make sure to do it. An Apple engineer already today was also tweeting out that people just come with super simple questions and they don't mind that at all. They just really want to help if you're a beginner or not. So so with that, is there any last remarks you wanna do? Anything you're looking forward to the rest of the week in maybe like two sentences or less?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll
George is
start.
gone.
I'm here. Sometimes I just go to the background.
That's the
So I can do
classic
this
with
nice
it, with
view.
any virtual call is who's going first. Yeah, in one or two sentences, I'm pumped about the Apple Design Awards. I would have put my money on Craft before they were announced. I think it's a wonderful app. So I'm saying I'm excited for that, and I
When are
think Craft
when are
will
the
win.
awards? When are the awards?
It's 4 p.m. for me, so that would be 2 Pacific.
Tomorrow?
Third, what day? I have dub brain. Is it Wednesday?
I think
I
it's
don't even know what
tomorrow.
day it
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah, it's
Thursday.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Whenever Thursday is.
All right. Yeah. So your bets on Craft. It's sort of a native version of Notion, correct?
Yes, that's my
Okay.
favorite thing about it.
All right. What about you, Jess? In 2 sentences or less. Looking forward to what?
Just for the whole experiences. This is my first time, so everything I'm looking at that with a childlike wonder. So everything is extra shiny, extra new, and I'm a sponge trying to take everything in. So yeah,
Nice.
pretty much everything.
Sai, what about you?
Yeah, I signed up for a couple of labs tomorrow, the augmented reality and machine learning labs for tomorrow and Friday, so I'm looking forward to those. And then just more reality kit and core ML, just applying them to my apps. That would be I'm looking forward to that.
All right. And last but not least, Andy, whose video just went out in the last minute, I think.
He's frozen with excitement.
Oh no. All right, let's see. Well, with that, then I'm going to thank you all for being part of this commentary session today. Thanks a lot for taking the time. The next one is coming up in about 11 hours. It's going to have Tim Eisenman, Jeroen Lienarts, and Anna as well. And I think Andy is back. Hey, Andy.
Hi.
Sorry. Sorry
So
about that.
You have 1 sentence. What are you looking forward to the rest of the week?
I just want to start applying everything to my own apps, especially concurrency and the new async APIs. See how I can adopt that on my own app as well as to my Joby Job app.
All right. Annie, you wanted to quickly shout out your website or your YouTube channel. What was it?
Yes, I wanted to make a shout out to my website, andyibanez.com. I wanted to do this because I just love writing about iOS. And if you guys want to check it out, well, you can. I don't think I'm going to write a new article in about 2 weeks, actually, because I'm still processing all these WWDC. But if I have some beginner-friendly articles and everything. So if you're looking for iOS content, I have some there.
Sounds good. And Jordan, can you give a quick shout out to your book, which name I forgot earlier? Sorry.
It's all good. BestinclassiOSapp.com. And I also have a blog, swiftjectivec.com, which this crowd is probably the only one that knows how to spell that. If I tell anybody else outside of iOS, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Jess and Sai, have anything to shout out, or let's just wave each other out?
Oh, I just want to give props to you, Jordi, because you're working on a quite different time zone that Cupertino, and you are on top of everything. Like the community appreciates all your effort. Like, thank you for doing this.
It's nice of you to say. Thanks a lot. It's gonna be a good weekend, but I'm enjoying it as well. So thanks. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone, and see you all online.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you, everyone. Goodbye.